I love how stand-up is immediate. It's like an art form that like you can write something that you think is funny this afternoon and say it tonight to a room full of people and see if it works. And if it lands, it's the best feeling ever.
Thank you so much, Joe, for doing this. You can't tell, but there's a sign that would normally be up here, and it would say the Improv in Irvine. So this is the first time I'm taking this whole thing on the road.
Yeah.
So this is kind of crazy, and thank you for being my first.
Where do I look? Do I look there?
No, it's kind of awkward, I think.
Should I look there?
Yeah, this is going to serve kind of like as a mirror.
Okay.
A de facto mirror, since we don't output.
Cool. There you go. Dude,
man,
thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate it. So let's
dude, we're literally, just so people know, we're literally on the stage here. I'll do this. We'll go technology right now. Watch. I'll go like this. Like, check it out. Boom. All right. And then there's proof. There's proof right there. That's the stage of the Improv in Irvine. And one of my friends is like here, and I was like, she's like doing her job, and I'm being the guy like, oh, can you be quiet so that we could. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Good. Dude, I'm turning that off.
Okay.
All right. Dude, I can't believe we're doing this.
I know, I'm stoked. So, okay. First things first, we have short on time.
Got it.
Which is a normal thing because I'm used to cutting hair with rock stars backstage minutes before they need
sound check.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm used to this. So high stakes hair cutting, I get it.
Okay.
What I do want to know is we talked very briefly about what it is what you're trying to do. You're trying to grow your hair out.
Dude, I'm trying to let my hair grow because like my whole vibe's always been just short, tight.
Yeah.
And like kind of that Mike Ness, tight in the back, tapered up and slick back. But then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, I hit a point where I'm like, I'm getting older and I have hair. Yeah. Why not let it grow? Yeah. Because dude, I've had this haircut my whole entire life.
Okay.
Like seriously, since I moved to LA in 92, Yeah, you
have a good head of hair.
A good head of hair, right?
Great head of hair.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. Yeah.
Very fortunate.
He might not be funny, but he has a good head of hair.
So how long are you thinking about going with this? Like,
dude, I don't know. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Here's the deal. Yeah. Remember when I was telling you about Steve Olson? Famous. Okay. So Steve Olson, famous skateboarder.
Yeah.
Insert photo. He's like, he has like a cool vibe. And I don't know, like there's a few other people that I've seen that have like longer hair. I don't know, but dude, I don't know. Like, is longer hair my vibe? Like, can I pull it? Like,
if you've never had long hair, you don't know if you're long.
Well, I mean, dude, when I was a kid, I used to have hair down to here. I had super long.
When did you cut it?
Oh my God, dude. I mean, when I was a kid, I had long blonde hair. I had long, like this color hair. Yeah. But like, that was like, when I was in my like 20s. So like, I haven't had long hair. This is the longest it's been in ages. And I just don't know, like, what I don't like is like all these little, I call them like it's like a garden here. They're little dudes that are just cruising out.
Yeah. All right. And that's normal. You know, hair are a lot like people. At some point you lose people get, they reach a maximum of like height.
Yeah.
And then after that, they can only get wider as time goes on, right? Hair is the same way.
Okay.
Like it can get so big this way, and then if it doesn't, it just gets wider this way. So that's what you're feeling. You're feeling like it's just doing this.
Dude, I'm feeling like it's just cruising out. So I'm going for the Albert Einstein. Just like, what up?
So here's what I want to know, Joe.
Yes.
Is if you want to get your hair longer, one of the things we ought to be considering is, let's just say you want this hair, right? Which is really long, actually.
That's crazy.
Long. Look,
it'd
be a great Liberty spike.
There you
go. My comb is 8 inches.
Yeah.
And so, you figure, you have about 7 to 8 inches of length on the top. If you want to get that longer, right? Because it's a little bit shorter on the sides. If you want to get this part to get here, then what we should be considering is like how, it's almost like you're not doing a fade, but you're just doing something down here to compress it. So as the hair gets longer, this part, is it getting longer first?
Why do I get the feeling that I just want to bail out and just go back to cutting it short?
You could always do that. You could bail out right now.
No, I don't want to bail out yet. Why don't we do this for today? Just because we got the show, can you just get rid of these weeds and tighten it up and give it some shape?
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, you doing sound tonight? Awesome, man. You and I've worked together, right? So as the rest of you guys can't see, what's your first name? Kayvon is doing sound tonight for the improv. So, dude, do you have the playlist of all the music and everything?
If there's something an email, I probably have.
Yeah. You know what? I'll forward it to the sound booth for you in a sec. Okay. It's a Spotify playlist. And then, I got some other stuff, man. You're really seeing everything, man. This is like behind
let's just take the glasses off.
Sure.
We're going to need to do that. And I'm going to,
you do this.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's just turn your head a little bit to the right. Let's just go through and just start doing
to the right, like that?
No.
Okay.
Tilt.
There you go.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is how long have you been doing comedy?
16 years.
Dude. Okay. So how'd you get into this? I'm always so fascinated by how everyone gets into comedy. Like everyone has a different story.
Yeah.
Is this something you wanted to do?
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I kind of have a different way to stand up. I don't know. It's pretty unique because usually it's the other way around. In the sense that like, so for me, started out singing in bands when I was 14 years old.
Rad.
And I was in my first band playing bass. And then I always wanted to be a singer.
Okay.
And like, it was right when like punk rock hit the suburbs in the 80s. So bands like, it wasn't the Ramones and the Clash and stuff like that. It was all the bands, the next generation, which was Black Flag, Circle Jerks, bands like 7 Seconds. They were like a huge influence on me, like especially like Kevin Seconds from the band 7 Seconds. So I really wanted to sing in a band, and I went from bass to singing for my first band, Frontline, when I was about 17 years old.
And it was called Frontline?
Yeah, it's called Frontline.
Before Frontline Assembly.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? No, I take that back. I think we were cruising around when Frontline Assembly was like that dancey band, kind of arty. Yeah. And what ended up happening was I sang in that punk band, and then that ended, and I moved to Los Angeles in 1990. I want to say like 91.
Was it because of that Francis Black song? I want to live.
No, that song hadn't come out yet.
I know it was like sometimes like in the earlier 90s.
Yeah. Pixies. When I moved to LA, Pixies were still fully happening. Okay. I saw the Pixies open for Jane's Addiction at the Palladium in Hollywood.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That would have been a bitch and show to go.
Yeah, that was like at the peak of Jane's Addiction. My band Frontline, we opened up for when Nothing Shocking came out, the second Jane's Addiction record, we opened up for Jane's Addiction at the Stone in San Francisco. And what is a trip was when we showed up, Jane's Addiction was at the point where they were there just hanging out, and they helped us load our gear in. Like, I'll never forget, like Perry and Dave Navarro were like super cool, and they like helped move our gear in. Like, oh, hey, you guys Frontline? We're like, yeah. They're like, oh, cool. Like, we'll help you move your stuff in. And then I remember that night they just destroyed, it was just all coming together.
Sometimes it does, it is cool if you get to, not meet your idols, but meet those people who don't disappoint you.
Yeah.
Because it's been the other way for me.
Yeah. Hey, really quick, and just leave enough that I can slick it back.
Oh, I'm doing it.
Okay, cool. Thanks, bro.
No, I get it. Like,
sorry. I didn't know if I'm allowed to interrupt.
Oh yeah, dude. The thing is, there's really no rules on my podcast.
Okay.
Like, that's it. Like,
have you ever been doing it and someone's like, I wanted to tell you to stop, and you just kept cutting?
No, I mean, maybe when I was younger. I'm just trying to go through and get these little pieces that go right with your glasses.
Get those dudes out.
Yeah, but see how this is already like staying.
Yeah, I love it.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah. So for me, it was like I sang in. I moved to Hollywood, and I met these three dudes from. Met these two guys from Chicago that were looking for a singer, and I started a band with them called Wax. And then that was the first band that I got into that really took off. We got signed, and we were on Virgin Records and then Interscope Records. And yeah, and that band, that was like really the band that really took, at least for me, to say, hey, I really want to pursue being a singer in a band and like making a living at doing it. And I was really fortunate because the band took off, and we were able to, tour and put records out, and we had a really good run. And then as that kind of like fell apart, and you kind of figure out what you're going to do next, I had started a record company. And when I say record company, it was like me and my best friend.
Isn't that how they all start out though?
Yeah. It was like me and my best friend, and like, we should put out a 7-inch, we should put out this, we should do that. And we started a record company called SideOneDummy, and which is crazy because when we came up with the name, we never thought we would do it for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so we did that, and the bands that we had on Side One were, we worked with everyone from Title Fight to the Casualties to big bands like, Flogging Molly, Go Go Bordello, Gaslight Anthem. You
got somebody ask you who's waiting on it.
It's hard to interrupt. My mentor Jake wanted to let him go. So wait to make your back part building H distributing.
Oh, so you don't have the logo?
For the improv. We're just waiting to get back.
Oh, is the wall not working?
It's working. They just don't want to have it for the.
Oh, no. We didn't want to have it on now. No, I'm saying I have a logo during the show. Do you have that logo?
I'll go check. I didn't see email, but that I somewhat.
Yeah, you know what? Let's finish this and then we don't have to have the improv logo up right now. Okay. That's all good. And then I'll get you the other stuff. Okay. Thanks, man.
We're getting to see the true behind the scenes. So you said the Casualties.
Yeah.
Randomly, my friend is the original drummer for the Casualties.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a hairdresser now.
Oh, what's his name?
His name's Yurish.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, there's been a lot of members in the Casualties.
He's the original drummer, and he grew up in Hell's Kitchen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and
I'm really good friends with the guitar player Jake.
Oh, well, Jake would know.
What up, Jake? Yeah. Oh, Jake's the best. Yo, dude, are we hanging? That's how he talks. Yo, bro, Joe, dude are we hanging?
Those New York accents get pretty stereotypically intense.
Super intense.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Talking about your record label.
Yeah, so I did Side One, and then I wasn't in a band anymore, and I had started this other band, 22 Jacks, and then that kind of came to an end. And basically, I was just looking for a way to get back on stage, and I wrote this one-man show called California Calling, and that got me like out and about, doing what I thought was stand-up, but it was really more storytelling.
Yeah.
And then I did the show California Calling at the Improv in Hollywood. And the woman that was running it at the time, this woman named Emily, who went on to book the Comedy Store forever, she was like, I love this show. And, if you ever want to do stand-up, I'll put you up and give you a spot. And I didn't even know what that meant. And, she's like, yeah, you come back, you're funny for like 7 to 10 minutes. And I was like, 7 to 10 minutes? Like, how's that even possible? Like, I don't even know if I can get the mic stand out in that amount of time, Mm-hmm. And that led to me starting. It was January, and I was like, you know what? I want to do this. Like, I want to go for this. I really want to do stand up. I don't want to do the spoken word thing anymore. And it was 16 years ago. And I remember I did like my first spot. And at that point I was like, all right, as long as I can do a spot every week, I wanted to get that I could be good enough that if I was on a show with other comedians, I wouldn't stand out as the guy that sucked. And that was just my goal. That was all the goal that I had. And then of course, just because of the way I am, I take everything to the extreme. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start getting 2 spots a week and then 3 spots. And then I got into a thing where I was like, you know what? I don't want to ever like not do a spot each week. So for the last 16 years, every week for 16 years, whether I'm on vacation,
you do it on vacation?
Like what I'm saying is like, I've never not done less than 1 spot, over the last 16 years. And now with doing comedy full time, I'm doing comedy 5 nights a week, sometimes 6 nights a week. So it's definitely for the last 16 years, it's a full on, it's the only way I can describe it is it's the only thing that I know, like by playing music, you can practice by yourself and you can get better and then do a show on the weekend. With stand up, you have to be doing it all of the time. You have to be, what's up, man? How are you? You gotta be, I wonder if those people are tripping out. Like, has anyone ever got their hair cut on this stage?
Well, if not, then we've definitely Christian the stage with this.
But like for me, it just really became an obsession. And then I just the whole time my kids were growing up, it would be like I would put them to bed, bath time, bedtime, say goodnight to them, and then everyone in my house would go to bed at say like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and then I would cut out and go to the Improv in Hollywood or the Laugh Factory and go do spots. And that really began the ride. Like at night, I would do comedy, and during the day, I would work at SideOneDummy, and then at night, I would do comedy. And then The only thing that I did when I first started out is I didn't do shows on the weekends because that was like the time my kids were young at that point. I just didn't want to miss, sleepovers and pizza nights and stuff like that. So I did all of that. And then they got old enough that they were just like, Dad, you're here. Like you can bail, in
teenage years.
Yeah. Teenage years. I was out of there. But that was basically how I made it to getting on stage and doing it. And it's been 16 years. And
well, I think what's interesting is
it's a trip.
You started this record label, right?
Yeah.
I think most people are trying to get out of wherever they're doing that when they're working for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that you were working for yourself in both instances.
Yeah. I've always worked for myself my whole life.
It's just,
I've been super lucky that way.
Exactly.
I mean, I've never had every day I'm so grateful. I've never had like a real job my entire life. Like when I say a real job, like obviously when I was at Side One, I was the co-owner and the co-founder. So yeah, I was working, every single day behind a desk and doing it. But I've never considered it a job. I've always considered that by working for myself and I love what I do, I feel like I get worried all the time. Like my biggest fear, even at my age now, is going out to get a real job. Like I go, oh my God, I hope I don't have to get a real job like that. And that my partner and I used to always say, who started Side One with me, he was like, the thing that drove us to always work as hard as we did was the fear of having to get a real job.
Yeah. I actually relate to that. I've only ever had 3 jobs in my whole life.
Yeah.
The first one is I sold guitar equipment when I was in high school, which is great because I got paid every week. I was making like $700 to $900 a week when you're 17. That's like good money.
Yeah.
I worked in a camera store.
Yeah.
And then I've been cutting hair.
Wow.
So, I've done different things within cutting hair, like teaching and traveling and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm still doing what I love, which is cutting hair and trying to find other opportunities where hair cutting is part of it.
Yeah.
But it's a different avenue of reaching it out. And that's what, this is turning into for me. It's another way for me to cut hair and do what I love, which is get to meet people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but dude, that's the thing, getting to do what you want to do and get paid for it. That is to me the best. That is the best thing. And it's, as we all know, there's a lot of people that have jobs they don't like and have to do things they don't like. That's why it really was a huge factor in having SideOneDummy be successful or even doing stand-up, because I didn't want to have to go get a real job. And then all of a sudden you get to,
I just think it's so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to get a real job. Like, that was the punishment is working for the man.
I would work, dude. I to this day, I still, I'm working more than I've ever worked in my life. Like even though I don't do SideOneDummy anymore, I'm still putting in as many hours, if not more. And when I was doing SideOneDummy, dude, we were doing 12-hour days minimum. But we didn't care because we rather work 12 hours a day for ourselves and make less money than work 8 hours a day for someone that we didn't like making more money.
Yeah, I think that's it doesn't feel like 12 hours when you're working for yourself and you're loving it.
No.
And when you're not loving it, you just go, oh, I bet you whatever those days are that I don't like here, it would be way worse.
Yeah,
on the days clocking in going, oh yeah, well,
totally.
At least I don't hate my boss.
Yeah.
Boss.
And with stand up, what I love about it is it's really up to you. There's no, when you're doing stand up, there's no band. So it's just you. So if you blow it, it's on you. It's not your drummer's fault. As far as the creativity goes, you can work and do whatever you want to do each night.
Yeah.
Because there's no one like, oh dude, I don't want to do that song. And so I love how immediate it is. I love how stand up is immediate. It's like an art form that like you can write something that you think is funny this afternoon and say it tonight to a room full of people and see if it works. And if it lands, it's the best feeling ever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, cool. So this is already, see how it's already like staying a little bit slicker?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the goal. Yeah. It's not a departure from what you've had.
No.
It's just a more
do I just keep letting it grow?
Yeah, until you go, I'm fucking over it.
Okay. What's the final look gonna be?
Who knows, man? All right. What, I mean tonight?
No, I mean
for you and your hair?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where are we going?
It's a journey. It's an exploration. If you haven't done this, you don't know where the ending point is. You're gonna get, I call it hitting the wall.
Okay.
And my metaphor of that is, you've never gone here, so you don't know where it ends. So you don't know where the wall is.
Yeah.
Where you go, okay, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Or actually, it looked great like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to there.
Okay.
And, you know.
Dude, I'm learning so many things.
I'm learning so many things too. And you're originally from Northern California.
Yeah, right? I grew up in Santa Cruz.
Where the skateboarding and pools go.
Santa Cruz, bro.
I've never been to Santa Cruz.
Oh, really?
No.
Santa Cruz is awesome.
I've heard.
NorCal, bro. Yeah, I grew up in Santa Cruz. My parents moved there in the 70s, and they lived on a ranch out in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Okay.
And they were doing that thing of like what people, you know, they were basically totally punk rock in the sense that they left the East Coast. Everyone couldn't believe they'd want to leave. Like, why would you leave New York? Why would you leave Philadelphia? And they came out here. My dad at the time was an English teacher. So his day gig was teaching English at a college, at Santa Clara University. And then my mom and him they started a ranch that basically was a stable for 27 horses. And they would do that. So like they had a ranch with 5 acres and 27 horses that they took care of. And my mom did that. And then me and my sister grew up on that ranch. And, you know, it was a trip because I grew up in the middle of nowhere. And at the time, like now, I want to be in the middle of nowhere. I would love to be out there. But when I was a kid growing up, I hated it because it was like no one to hang out with. I was just by myself all the time. But I think that developed a lot of like my personality of who I am because I had to kind of figure out how to entertain myself. Like, okay, you know, when you're with no one, you have to, you know, figure out what to do from the time you get up. So it was a lot of exploring and just hanging out. And then it was even back then I got into skateboarding because my mom got a skateboarder magazine for me once.
Oh, right.
And my dad bought me my first skateboard like right around like, I think it was like 77, 78.
Okay.
And it was from Kmart. And I remember I was just like, whoa. I was so blown away by it and so into it. And then when my mom got me an issue of Skateboarder magazine and I saw what people were doing on skateboards, I was like, it blew me away. I couldn't believe that people were doing this and they were doing it, you know, on a skateboard that was similar to mine. And that was really like an eye-opening for me because as much as my parents had horses and it was all nature, that just wasn't my scene. And
I'm with you on that. Like the first time I remember seeing skateboarding, I was like, this looks amazing. This looks like the most free thing. Oh, yeah. And by free, I don't mean like cost. I mean freeing as in like freedom. And if you get a skateboard young enough and you were in the middle of nowhere skateboarding. Yeah. I was in like the suburbs. So we at least had like.
And where'd you grow up?
Temecula. Okay. So I moved from Orange County to Temecula when I was 10. Okay. When you're 10, you don't really get a set.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
No, you don't. Yeah.
No. And I grew up in the middle of nowhere at that time too, because it was nothing. It was just, you know, there was one stoplight when we moved out. One stoplight. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where you're like, well, we have an elementary school right here in a park, and there's some sidewalks and there's some cement medians, and let's go get our sex wax and you know, put it on there and you start learning how to slide. I could not do a kickflip to save my life. I could do 1.5 rotations. Yeah. So I was doing dark slides and I was like, bro, that's sick. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so cool. Yeah. I really just can't actually do the full rotation. I could get one, like 1.5, but I couldn't do a full 2. Yeah. And so I just learned how to dark slide by default. I remember that's funny. I would never try it now. Yeah. I break my arm. Yeah. But you know, you see all those cool tricks that like Rodney Mullen is doing.
Oh my God.
He's like to me, he's a living.
Yeah. A few. Yeah. He was always like the Bones Brigade for me. Rodney Mullen, Caballero, McGill, Stacy Peralta, Tony Hawk, Lance Mountain, all of those guys, Tommy Guerrero, they were definitely such an influence on me and my friends and just everything that was, you know, that was definitely, so that definitely influenced.
And being into punk and skateboarding.
You know, just punk rock at that time, you know, it hit the suburbs. And I was at that point, you know, we'd left Santa Cruz and I lived with my dad in San Jose. And I was just it was just in the right place at the right time because San Jose, we were in between, we were far enough away from San Francisco that bands they could get out of their radius clause and do a show in San Jose. Yeah. And, close enough to San Francisco that bands would say, hey, you know what? We can do a Friday night in San Francisco. We can do a Saturday night in San Jose, or vice versa. So all the bands that I loved growing up, whether it was, Social Distortion, The Adolescents, all these bands, they were all coming through San Jose. And we had a really, really great scene, just a really great music scene in general, let alone a great punk rock scene. And I just happened to be there at the right time, at the right place.
Timing is everything.
Dude, it was. It really was.
When you're talking about how you had just you and your sister, and when you're alone, I'm an only child. So I didn't have that older sibling to like tell me what was cool or wasn't cool.
Okay.
Or to tell me, make fun of me or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do find that sometimes solitude can be one of the greatest like personality definers, because you're like, well, what am I into?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
And if you're a teenager, like all kids or all teenagers, we're all trying to figure out what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
And like, what's our clique?
Yeah.
Are we the jocks?
Yeah.
Are we the Hessians? The hippie guys who walk around.
We call those guys, when we were growing up, it was dirt heads.
Dirt heads.
Like if you were a kid in a Zeppelin shirt with like a little mustache, you were a dirt head.
Maybe that's where the dirty heads get their name from.
I don't know.
Dude, I don't really think we have to do much. I think we're
done, dude.
Dude, I mean, a good haircut.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it has to take a long time.
Can you get rid of those? Like, do you have like a little razor to get rid of those? Like little, okay.
No, I'm kidding. Totally do.
Dude.
Fucking with you, Matt.
He's the comedian.
I saw you play with Mr. Breuer in
with Jim Breuer. Yeah.
And I don't like doing research. Like I don't like doing research.
Was that the night Jim came out? Did he have the cowboy hat on that night?
Yeah, he got the cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where like, I don't like doing research on who I'm interviewing. I just like to know a little bit about them.
Yeah.
Because it destroys my curiosity if I know everything about you, right?
Totally.
And I do the same thing when it comes to music and when it comes to comedians, because nothing translates amazing on the YouTube or the Instagrams. Like if something's funny, like I want to see it live.
Yeah.
And I want to hear a band live. And I'm not saying this because I'm cutting your hair.
Yeah.
And you're sitting right here. My buddy Brett and I were fucking like crying with laughter.
Oh, good.
I was like, man, I have not laughed this hard at something I've never heard of as a comedian. Like, I wasn't looking forward to a punchline or a joke. I was just there enjoying the ride. And the only other time I've ever laughed that hard at somebody I've never heard of was Dub Davidoff.
Oh, wow.
And
I love Dev.
Dude, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And
I don't know him, but fan.
Well, this is back in like 2005.
He has definitely a different, unique delivery.
Yeah.
The way he talks, the way he sounds.
Yeah. And like he just kind of comes out. And he just does his, he's like giggling and laughing. But I was like, and I told it over my buddy Brett, and I said, Brett, I have not laughed this hard since.
That's cool. Thank you, dude.
20, like at least in 10 or 15 years.
Thanks.
And I mean that. And I was showing my friends who I'm hanging out with right now here in California, and I was like showing them your clips, and they're like, dude, this guy is funny. Like, too bad we have plans where we want to go.
They go tonight. Yeah. I'm psyched for tonight.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked. And then, so how long have you been like, how did you get linked up with Breuer?
Dude, I was in the right, one other thing. I was in the right place at the right, dude, seriously, he came in, he got interviewed by my buddy, Chris Shiflett. Chris is in the Foo Fighters, and Chris was doing a podcast, and he said, hey dude, I'm interviewing Jim Breuer. Are you around? And he needed a studio. And it's at the time, SideOneDummy had a studio that we ran podcasts out of. So he came in there, and then I just hung around, and then at a certain point, Jim got done, and I met him, and he was just really cool. And I let him know I was doing comedy. And of course, he was cool because I was like, seriously at that point, like, I don't know, maybe 6 years in.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey man, like stay in touch with my publicist. And if anything opens up, I'd love to have you come out and do a show. And I said, okay, cool. And I just stayed in touch with the publicist. And at one point they needed someone in San Diego. She called me, hey man, are you in LA? Could you do San Diego? I'm like, absolutely. And I remember I jammed down there. And at that point, my dad lived in San Diego, and I brought my dad to the show.
I'm going to get your eyebrows.
Yeah, dude, thank you. And I'll never forget, I took my dad to the show, and he's my dad. And I said, Dad, do me a favor, just like wait in my dressing room. I got to do I had to go to the front to like do something, like turn some names in. Yeah. And I come back, my dad's missing, and I can hear his voice through the walls, and he's in Brewer's dressing room now. And I walk in and my dad is just holding court with Jim. My dad's got a sandwich that he's made in one hand and a coffee in another. And while he's talking, he's just so enthusiastic. And when my dad gets enthusiastic, food flies out. And Jim, I go, and I see Jim, he goes, "Hey man, what's up, man? I met your dad." And I was like, I'm mortified, like, Dad. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, man, we're talking about baseball." They were talking about the Mets or whatever. And they hit it off. And later on, I got a call from Jim. He's like, "Hey man, I got some more shows going on. And I'd love it if you came out, man. If you want to come out, you got them." And I was like, "Dude, thank you so much." And, I went out and did more shows with Jim. And at one point he said to me, he goes, "Dude, I'll be honest, like, you bringing your dad to the show was so cool." And it really made me go like, wow, if this guy brings his dad to the, show, that's super cool. And then, actually Jim became like good friends with my dad. Like when we'd go out on the road, he'd like, at one time we did like a week in Florida. And he goes, "Bring your dad." And my dad came out and was with us for like 10 days. It was great. Rad. Yeah, it was super cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, that's how I got the gig with Breuer. And then that led to going on the road with Metallica and featuring for Jim forever.
Big Mick.
Dude, yeah, I love Big Mick. He's not with him though anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know Big Mick?
I briefly ran into him because he was doing sound for Slipknot.
Okay.
And I'm friends with the guys there in that band. And
Did you ever cut anybody in Metallica's hair?
No, I would love to. I always thought I would get along, but Matt can't talk. I always thought that I would click more with James.
Yeah.
Because I do love cigars.
Yeah, he loves cigars.
And I have a 65 El Camino.
Oh, okay.
And I love muscle cars.
Yeah.
And
that's his whole vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
I always tell people about James and like all the dudes in Metallica. It's like when they're off stage, James has a cowboy hat, black shirt, jeans, and cowboy boots. When he's on stage, black boots, same jeans, same shirt, no cowboy hat. It's like the same dude on and the same dude off.
Yeah. Like, and my buddies were on 2 years of tour with them.
Who?
Mammoth. Oh, Wolfgang's
band.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they only had the nicest things.
God, Wolfgang's a ripper.
Dude, he shreds.
Can I put the glasses on to see what this looks like?
Absolutely, dude.
All right, bro. Thank you. Here we go.
We can check it out on the screen. Wow. So yeah. So see how it just kind of like wants to hang
Dude,
back?
It looks great. I'm stoked. Yeah. And you trim the eyebrows.
Cool.
I like that.
I like these pieces kind of like hanging down.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very like 90s, kind of like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So
you're 90s were epic for me.
Dude, 90s were amazing. I know this is short. I know they got to open doors.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot to cut, but I did get to know you a little bit.
Dude, thank you so much for having me, bro.
If you're in Austin,
let's do it again.
We got to do it in the actual.
Well, why don't we do this and I'll stay in touch with you and let you know where where we're going to end up going to.
Perfect.
Like I'll give you we'll do like, where's Joe's hair at now?
Yeah, we can
like
do
a report from the road.
Like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
There you go.
Exactly.
I love it, dude. Cool. Thanks for having me, bro.
Later.
Later.